I am your host, Guru Brando, and this is my lovely, lovely lady.
Lady Elizabeth Autumn McReynolds Groves.
You were just not. You weren't supposed to say lady again, but
Oh,
that's okay.
okay.
That's okay. You didn't get that cue. We didn't rehearse.
No, we didn't. I can just say Beth.
You could, but that would be awful because
Lady
I
Beth.
bought the name, so
Lady
you're going to
Beth.
use it. Okay, so I have some stuff to talk about.
Okay.
And it's not going to be very nice. Okay.
Not going to be very nice.
No, and usually I'm a pretty nice person, right? Don't you think? Oh, I gotta turn this thing down. I almost messed up hardcore because I didn't have the thing down. Do we even have volume?
It looks like we do.
Okay. Well, hopefully we do. Somebody let us know if we do or not. Because, we're never certain.
We got the comment thing up, so we'll see how long it takes for them to come through.
Yeah. I think that we have it going. All right. So, what I want to talk about is actually, the title of this is Grads and Fads. We didn't send our kids to school today.
No, we didn't.
Should we discuss why? I'm doing so much clicking on
why
this.
Why not?
Screen.
I mean, yeah, we're kind of are now. So let's do it.
Well, but we don't have to discuss, anything in depth. We can just say we didn't send our kids to school today, but do you want to discuss, do you want to go into our feelings about it? It's up to you. Because I have a lot of stuff I could say, and I'm not sure. Maybe whoever's listening can let us know if they want to hear us talk about how we felt about the whole situation.
Right.
Let me just say, it's primarily because if anyone was going to be a target, it would be minority people. And in case y'all hadn't noticed, there's not a whole lot that's typical about us. So, even more of a target than usual, I think, would be the sense that I felt towards our kids. Our kids aren't typical kids. And so, I just never want to put my kids in this situation. And if you have no idea what we're talking about, that's good. Because then it means you don't have kids in school to worry about. It means they're all grown up. Okay, now, aside from that, Christmas is about to happen.
Yes,
and I am stressed out. Are you stressed out? Just about Christmas, not about everything else.
Kinda. I'm stressed about it, but I'm not I'm not stressed to the point or anything like that.
I'm asking about...
I have Christmas stress. I have holiday stress.
Okay, so can we talk about the stress that I have for Christmas? Do you know what it's surrounding?
The whole Amazon place?
Oh, well, no, not that. Mine is surrounding food.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because, I have a lot of food-related issues. And so I get to go, okay, so I get to stress about the food. Thank God you cook it. I don't have to do all that crap this time. Which I did that for so many years. So that makes me excited. I don't have to deal with that. I just have to finance the food. And that's even, one of those things. It's not such a big deal, but it's a little stressful. But my extra stress is from the weather, from SAD, because I have seasonal affect disorder. And I know that you've gotten a taste of it here lately from me. I've been much more, I guess, negative this time of year than I usually am. And as a life coach, that's hard, but I'm going to admit it. Yeah. I have to coach myself through shit, just like everybody else in the free world, right?
Yeah, you had a sort of a rough go of it.
Yeah, and it's not surrounding any one thing in particular, right? It's always a whole combination of things. And it's that combination of things that sometimes gets overwhelming, right? Mm-hmm. Because, I want to provide for the kids, and for us, of course. But I also want to eat and be safe. I want to make sure that everybody else is having, making memories, having a pleasant time. I want people to feel good.
Yes.
That's it.
I've been trying to sort of keep the holiday spirit alive, and throughout the day, even if the kids aren't around, I might play some Christmas music anyway.
It's tough though when you become an adult to keep that spirit alive.
Yeah.
I mean, because we get caught up, don't we? Did you get caught up?
Yeah. We all do, and it kind of takes more than one person to keep it going. You got to feed off each other, and
yeah, because I lost my shit the other day and yelled at you. You remember? I was like, I'm the one that had to do this. I'm the one that had to make Christmas happen. I was the one that had to make, every single holiday happen. In my ranting at you, that was part of that message, is that Christmas or the holiday in general, the holiday season does not create itself.
Right.
And Walmart doesn't create it for you either. They can supply, everything for it, but it's
a lot of effort.
It is, and that effort is painful for me at this point, because I can only do one or the other. I can either work or I can put in the spiritual effort, right? It doesn't seem like both. It's the constant work-life balance. That's what I'm talking about, work-life balance. And even you have work-life balance. And there's not too many men that would sit there and say, you know what, my wife really works hard. She's a stay-at-home mom and she works harder than I do. I have the perspective that knows that, because I know you're chauffeur and cook and housekeeper and dog sitter and what else? Babysitter sometimes.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you're also my wife, and you're also daughter-in-law. And that's a whole set of challenges all to its own.
Honestly, I never actually thought of myself as daughter-in-law. That's weird. It's so weird. It just then, I think of father-in-law, Fred, but I never thought of myself, in return, I guess. Daughter-in-law.
Oh my God. Okay, I love you. I love you so much, baby. And this is going to go down in history forever, forever, forever.
I'm sure.
Okay, Carol does say she sees and hears us, but she's not commenting, I guess. So as long as we know that, we're good. Okay. So really, though, daughter-in-law, you never... I'm sorry. Okay, I'll quit.
It's like whenever a niece or a nephew calls me aunt, it kind of brings me back for a second.
Okay, because you just haven't been exposed enough to it.
I don't ever hear it, so I don't ever think about it.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't hear son often, but
I hear mom all day. So.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. It makes sense now, because I was like, okay. So on top of that, what is your Christmas stress? Because you're kind of pulled in 100 different directions, and I have clients and you have family. So it's really the same thing. Everybody needs us at some point, but we need other people too.
Yeah, I think my stress is just, trying to keep momentum and balance. I don't want to burn myself out before we even get to the, cooking day.
So you're taking time to appreciate those little holiday things, like the music. The obnoxious ass Christmas music.
I do those things that kind of helps fuel my tanks.
Oh, you know what I've been appreciating lately? Oliver's musical talent. Yes, I've been appreciating the hosachord, the cow horn. He hasn't named it yet. It's just the cow horn, and weeks before that, just the mouthpiece itself as a duck call. Yeah, so this has been an evolving thing.
Yes.
And let me just say this. I can't wait for Christmas. Because then a lot of this is going to be quelled. It'll be something different, but nonetheless, So that's all I'm going to say. That's it. Okay, I had something cool happen today that alleviated my stress at some, because I have, that stress I was talking about. So work-life balance. I've made some critical decisions as far as my business goes. and what direction I'm going to go. I've started to focus a little bit more. It's taken me a couple days, and I did set the warning out to friends and family, and I said, and even you guys, I was like, look, I need a couple days. I'm going to be kind of meditating on certain aspects of my life. I'm not going to be near as social or talkative. I'm kind of going silent. And I did. I meditated for a couple days, every chance that I got in between work. And I said, if at the end of the night I did not have some kind of resolve or feel better overnight, then the next day I would fast. And I am so thankful that I had a resolve. I think I scared myself into resolve thinking that I was going to have to fast because it was pizza night. So
Power of pizza.
I know. So my brain was like, bitch, you need to
can't
figure this shit out. We ain't playing with some pizza. So I did. I think that the sadness is lifting, and that is outside of SAD, the seasonal affect disorder. It has been nothing but crappy outside. My body feels it, and my mind feels it, and I need some light. So I will be visiting the cavern for some light therapy, for some phototherapy, because we have some lights down there that will
Very
help
nice
with that.
lamp.
Right. So I'm going to be going down there so I can help myself. That's the holistic route. I don't need medication, outside of my usual herb. Right. I don't need extra medication. So I'm going to try to manage it that way and see if I can combat some of the negative thinking that I'm having. Are you having much difficulty with automatic negative thinking around the holidays?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's, a lot of, I guess, like anybody, there's, the holidays have, a much deeper emotional hold on us. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. And you want to experience the good parts, but sometimes the not so good parts maybe surface also. And it kind of like dims, the light a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have to, I guess, work a little bit extra sometimes to keep, things a little bit on the bright side. But I think there's, I enjoy the holidays more than I don't.
Okay. And you have a different experience than me because you were away for a lot of holidays. So for you, this is sort of homecoming, good feeling. Whereas I was really spoiled for holidays. I always was surrounded by family at the holidays. And now I'm not so much. Now I'm surrounded by our family and our chosen family, the Passmores and the Moneys and, people that are here.
Speaking of, we need to have Christine over sometime.
I know, and we were going to have Alex hook up and get pictures, graduation pictures. She graduated today, but she hadn't had a free moment to do that. And so Steve is going back to New York. Anyway, so I had something really cool happen today, a couple of cool things. I got to see Toby, my client, who, if y'all remember Toby, he came to me because he's transitioning, and he now has been on T since October, the end of October. And so he's experiencing changes medically. That's what they call it, medical transition. And so it was cool to be able to see him and see his progress, because I remember when I first started, and so I'm able to coach him through kind of that experience, and he's doing amazing. Like, I'm so freaking proud of him. My heart just beats really fast every time I think about Toby, because it's that exciting moment. He's achieving it. He's achieving it just like I did, and you see how good he feels living his truth.
Yeah,
and so it's pretty fantastic.
So happy.
I know.
So
it's
happy.
Just, I'm gonna get weepy. Okay, I can't. So there's lots of changes with Toby, but I also got word today, after so long begging Joe to get back on the show, he agreed. So regular Joe and I are going to do on Facebook, on the Positively Entertaining group page, or on my personal page, somewhere on Facebook, we're going to do a live podcast, he and I, and it'll be fantastic.
I'm sure it will.
And
all the hype.
Yes, I've missed him so freaking much. Like, we got to hang out with he and the family. We had a little Christmas get together, and it was so great. They fed us tremendously, and I still have some broccoli and cauliflower. Not very much, but enough that I'm going to eat it tonight. Yeah, you're welcome. So, broccoli farts, fantastic. But I have all this food that they sent home and our Christmas gifts that they gave us. What? They gave us stockings full
Yeah.
of our favorite candy.
Yeah, I think I've got a few good and plenties left, and that's it.
Gross.
All the Pez, it's history.
Yeah, you've been eating the hell out of
The
them
ribbon
Pez.
candy is almost all gone.
Yeah, that ribbon candy went fast too. It's almost all gone. But I cleared out the Grinch cookies, and we ate those little turtle things, and we had we have such good friends, but we had a really good time. He made shrimp, favorite thing, and Olivia made this dip that was amazing. See, it's the food. It's the food, and then it's the atmosphere. We had no stress when we were there. And you know why we have no stress? Because we trust them and they trust us.
Yeah. Good food and good company.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for that one thing, that trust factor. You know, because think about it. I know that you've been around friends that you've had an experience with where they were petty, or you've had an experience where, you know, you saw them not vulnerable, but you saw them at their worst, who they really had become. You get freaked out and you don't want to trust. And you and I've both had experiences with people where, because we're trans, you know, we've had experience with people that could accept one and not the other, or didn't really understand, because when we moved here, I was already transitioned and you weren't. And so that's an issue for some people too. Not that I care, mind you, but nonetheless, it's one of those affected things.
I think the biggest deal was that, you know, when you were here, there you already, you know, gone through majority of the physical change, and so that's how they saw you. So they didn't see the change really.
Yeah.
And so when they saw me, they saw the change.
Yeah, and for some people, it's just too much to see that someone can control their life in that aspect, right? Because people have this concept of binary, and it's not wrong. You know, I'm not saying, you know, that anybody's wrong for feeling, you know, how they feel. What I'm saying is, when it affects other people, when your belief is affecting other people in a negative way, it's a problem.
Yeah.
So Joe and Karen and family accept us fully, and it's not a problem, because we talk about it. It's an open conversation. You know, they don't stifle questions.
No.
They don't, you know, they're just their family. You know, just like the Passmores. That's the other people we feel 100% safe with. We go hang out in St. Louis with. You know, it hasn't always been that way. And can you reflect back when you were living as a man and I was living as a woman, some of the people that we were around that we knew weren't safe? There's no way we could tell them who we were. I don't want to name any names, but, you know, I'm convinced that every single person, every adult that's in a relationship has safe friends and not safe friends. I think that that's always the balance. I don't think that everybody can have 100% safe friends.
Yeah, because not everybody thinks alike.
Right.
You know, we all come from different places.
Because
you know?
humans can be triggered.
Yeah. It'd be unfair,
Everybody
you know,
can.
to expect everybody to be that way.
Right. So if we thought that we would only have good friends and not those kind of crappy friends, if we believed that, then we would think that we had to be perfect. Right? If we believed that we were only supposed to have good friends and not crappy friends too, we would have to live up to the good friend standard all the time.
It's hard to...
In other words, you have to recognize you're human just like everybody else.
Well, yeah. I mean, definitely human. Definitely, you know, we're all part of the human condition.
And everybody's going to think somebody's crappy for some reason.
Yeah, Yeah.
Is there
I
any?
just, that's not. Whenever if I think of somebody as a crappy friend, they're usually not my friend too long after that.
Right, but nonetheless,
Um,
you still refer to him, my friend, blah, blah, blah. You do all the time.
I don't call any of my friends crappy.
No, not crappy. What I'm saying is what you deem crappy. As a friend, you can be a good person and a crappy friend.
Yeah,
You were a crappy
I'm
friend.
definitely not the best. Like friend. I mean, I could be a better friend.
Yeah, you used to be a really crappy friend. Like you were the worst kind of friend a person could have because you were so selfish.
Yeah.
I was too. I was the worst kind of friend you could have because I was so demanding. It was just that's what makes me a great coach. Because as a friend, I demanded that you rise above your situation. That's always been my thing is have some structure, have some fortitude, but have something to put forward, right? It's always been my mantra. Have something to put forward. And if you don't, you better make something up really quick, right? Because otherwise, you're going to get left behind. Darwin will get your ass. You either get busy learning or you let Darwin eat you, right?
Makes sense.
Well, it makes sense in a weird, kind of screwed up way, but nonetheless, it makes enough sense for tonight. So, do you have those friends that you see that are less than your potential? Like there's a little sketch to them. Okay, so I'm going to state the obvious. If you can't identify those friends, you are that friend.
Hmm.
If you cannot identify your friends that are a little bit sketch, it's because you're the sketchy one.
Well, I guess I'm the sketchy one then.
Yes, you are. That's why I married you. Because I'm the sketchy one too. And so that's why, because you and I are still somewhat sketchy, and you know what that means to me? So I can clarify.
Hmm.
Because we still sometimes introvert. We still sometimes become selfish. We still have cycles that we're breaking.
Yeah.
That's what makes us sketchy because we're work in progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what that means? Because we're sketchy, other people are too. Because we're not special, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you do also have sketch friends because I'm one.
Right.
So it's through having each other that we can identify where we need to improve first and foremost, right? So here lately you've identified for me that I need to take it down a notch because I'm way too stressed out. So that's why Joe and I are going to do a podcast so I can blow off steam because he's that person. So I am right now, officially live blaming Joe for me being so sad and sorrow filled that I became an asshole at Christmas. Does that
A
work?
Grinch.
Does
Let's
that
not
work?
How about we just say Grinch?
Okay, yeah. It's Joe's fault that I became the Grinch, but then he fed me Grinch cookies.
Yep. Made you all
And
better.
now I'm all better. And so,
Cured.
yeah, just like that. And our friend Carol got good news, and so her course is set. So things are lifting and looking up, and I have a plan moving forward to treat myself to some light therapy, and you are going to be playing more holiday music and making holiday goodies because that's what makes you feel good, right? So I'm interested to know what our sketchy friends do. So if you are one of our sketchy friends, send us a message, comment, or something, and let us know what you're going to do. And you know who one of our sketchy friends is?
Hmm.
You can't think of who one of our sketchy friends is?
All my friends are heathens.
One of our sketchy friends is Joe. So Joe and Karen can chime in and let us know, what they do whenever they feel like they need to boost morale a little. Because that's really what I'm talking about, right? We've got to boost each other's morale.
Mm-hmm.
And you boost mine with food. And so does Joe. I'm very food driven. I boost yours with my sexy beard, don't I?
Absolutely.
I'm not putting glitter in it. I'm just shutting that
That's
down
okay.
before you
I'll
even
put
get
glitter in
excited
when you
about
go to sleep.
No. I'll lock the door. So I've been allowing Widow to sleep with me lately, and I have had no issues sleeping through the night with her in here. I highly recommend pet therapy. You? Oh, look, and speaking of pet therapy, I see Norman back there running around. You don't sleep with your animals, Beth.
No.
No, you used to, though. Fat Belly used to sleep with you, and it was terrible.
Yeah, that's when we kind of kept her litter box in our room, but yeah, we moved her out into the living room.
She was out last
And
night.
the dogs would eat her cat, crap. So, that was another reason why, because the dogs slept in
It was
our
a
room
vending
too.
machine.
Yeah, so it was like they want some vittles in the middle of the night.
Oh my god, it's so nasty. I can't even stand to think about it. With
Yuki.
covered sprinkles.
Yuki is such a shit eater.
Yeah, she really is. Like, it's her favorite thing in the whole wide world. And so
she hangs out by the litter box all day.
I can't
waiting
even
for him
stand
to go.
it. Oh my god, I want to die right now. Oh, okay. So we have these special covered litter boxes that manage a lot of that issue, and yeah, it's a whole nother thing all to its own self. So your cat was out last night.
How's she getting out?
And I don't know. You said that. You're the one that told me she was out last night.
No, I told y'all the previous day that she was
Okay.
out that morning, and when I was taking the dogs out.
Okay, out that morning. Okay, so your cat was out that morning. How did your cat get out?
I don't know.
Because
no idea.
Because she's dumb.
That was the day of the.
That's the incident. That's what I'm
Yes.
about to talk about. It's the incident.
was that day.
Lead up to that incident, which was this morning. That was this morning.
No, it wasn't.
Yesterday morning.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I'm losing days. Holy cow. Okay, I got to get my work-life balance in order. I'm going to be working on that this week. Yes?
Yes.
I got to, because I'm losing track of things. So, Dad comes in to talk to us at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're getting everybody ready for school. This is yesterday. No, it wasn't 8 o'clock. It was before. No, it was after you got back. So, yeah, 8 o'clock. So, Dad comes in to let us know that while tiptoeing through the kitchen this morning, he smelled an offensive odor of cat poop. So he looks all over the kitchen and does not find any evidence until he looks at his shoe, to which he had to figure out where did it come from, because he had used the back steps to go into the kitchen.
Yeah, we have a second story back door.
Yeah, so he goes out the back and walks outside down the deck into the kitchen.
No, he came in the upstairs back door, and then he walked it through the house, all the way down the stairs, all the way through the living room, the dining room, into the kitchen, around the kitchen, into where the stove area is.
He was looking for the smell.
It was like a Scooby-Doo mystery. I could just follow the footprints.
I'm so sorry. I'm not really laughing at you. I'm not. Okay, so, so you had to clean up the evidence. But Dad came in to ask us where the cleaner was, the carpet cleaner, because he was going to clean it out of the carpet. He's 80.
Yeah, I was like, no, just go clean your shoes. I'll handle this.
That would have taken him all day, because it took you quite a while.
Yeah, I think I got it done in maybe an hour or two. Yeah, I had to, we had to clean the floors. We have hardwood floors on the bottom floor,
And carpet.
and then the stairs are wooden, and then it's carpet upstairs. And so, that was a whole nother thing. It was oxy spray and scrubbing and oxy and scrubbing, and then letting that dry, and then carpet fresh and vacuuming. And it doesn't smell like cat crap anymore, but I can't say much for the state of the carpet. It was an old carpet anyway. We need to put a runner on it. It's clean. It just doesn't look all that great.
Well, it does have,
I mean, if we could get the shampooer out, it would fix any stains.
Oh, well, okay. So now we know what's happened here. But guess what? We're not the only people that stuff like that's happened to. And that's why you still watch us and listen to us, people, is because you know that some of the shit we say has happened to you.
And it wasn't raccoons in the air conditioner, so that's good.
Oh, yes. Raccoons in the air conditioner. That is a really good date night story. Do tell. Let's share. Share that, baby.
Let's see.
Old Mill Road, Greenville, Texas, 1992.
No, it was more like 1999.
Oh, okay, but the rest of it's correct.
Because I was
1999.
just out of my first tour of duty.
Were you partying like it was?
Oh my God, yes I was.
Okay, carry on.
And I think I had been back at the house 2 days, maybe. It was in the summer, and we'd noticed
Texas summer.
Noticed that the house just wasn't smelling right. It's like, God, is there something dead outside? What is the deal? And then it would kind of go away for a little bit, and then the air conditioner would kick on, and we'd smell it again. What the hell is that? And so after a while, we couldn't be in the house anymore because it was just like it was summer death in our house, and we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So they called the air conditioner guy out, and he gets into the opens the little closet where the HVAC stuff is, and he cut into the ducting, sticks his head in there, pulls his head out as fast as he can, and is running outside of the house and barfing. So turns out that a couple of raccoons had gotten into our ducting up at the roof level, and got down in there and had gotten onto the element and gotten electrocuted and died.
Nice.
And yours truly had to fish them out because I was the only one with the stomach to do it.
That is so awful. But you also could change the diapers, and I was really, really bad at that. So I'm thankful that you had the stomach, because
it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy though. It was tough.
Forensics, I could handle, like, I think humans. I can't handle dead animals, but dead humans not so much. Not a big problem for me. I don't know why. Maybe because I know more about them than I do animals, and so, like, it's not as intimidating, but I don't know as much about animals as I do humans. I haven't studied animals, and so it's a little intimidating whenever an animal dies, because I don't really know the process of that. That's the best way I can describe it, and knowledge is power. So my advice is, if you're afraid of something, or if you, not necessarily afraid, but repulsed is a good word. If you're repulsed by something, maybe it's worth looking into why. And if there's nothing tragic there, then say, maybe I just need to learn about it. That's what makes people interesting.
Yeah, and usually if there's any sort of negative feelings about a specific subject of, you name it, all you have to do is study it a little bit, and it usually alleviates any...
Like Shakespeare. Do you see where I was leading up to? It took so long to get there. I'm leading you into a trap right now.
Really?
So talk about your experience with Shakespeare currently.
It's my second to last class in college.
No holds barred.
Literature 410.
That sounds boring as crap.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was going to be kind of boring until we started reading Taming of the Shrew. And then I had kind of a problem with it because it's just such it's such a good representation of a poor side of human.
That's how you're going to say it?
In the least amount of words.
Okay, so summarize why it sticks you right in the craw.
Shakespeare did a lot of stuff that was, mockery of, general human behaviors or political whatever. And this was it was sort of marketed as a love story. And
who marketed it as a love story?
It's like labeled as a romance.
Who labeled it that way?
I was looking up some stuff on it.
No.
And it was like, and I was very serious. It's anything but that. It's psychological operations.
Torture. Yeah, it's torture.
And until you get somebody to conform, and that's basically, that was, the end of it. There was an outspoken woman, Katharina, and they in order for the dad's younger, more beautiful, subservient daughter to be married off, you had to marry off the older, meaner one first. And so she was
So that
outspoken
is
and
the
telling everybody their
classic,
business.
though.
And
Okay, so why was it okay for Disney to do it, but it's not okay for Shakespeare?
I don't think it's okay at all. It makes me uncomfortable in general.
Okay, but only now, right?
Oh
Because
yeah.
Disney has been doing it for years.
Well, I mean, my
And the
mindset.
kids still watch all those.
Yeah, they see everything that we see, almost, not everything.
And so what makes it okay for Disney but not Shakespeare? Why does it affect you differently?
I think it's just how, where I was when I watched, these shows respectively. You know, today, in order to get the full context of the written play, I watched the play, not the movie, but I watched the play. It was like a Shakespeare in the Park where they did a very accurate portrayal of it. I went by the play itself, going by their lines in the play that I was watching, and they were dead on.
Don't
so
vape.
It was a very good play. It was entertaining. It was funny. It was sexist, chauvinist, and
Disempowering.
disempowering. It was
oppressive.
all kinds of terrible,
abusive.
and
Evil.
so whenever that my attitude towards Taming the Shrew came out in a lot of my writing in my class, and I was like, sorry.
Should you have to apologize?
Not for honesty.
No, should you have to apologize for not for honesty but for opinion?
Oh,
because you can be honest.
I guess not. I mean, you can have an honest opinion.
Well, you can have an honest opinion, but it doesn't mean you have to apologize. You don't have to apologize for somebody else feeling uncomfortable unless you've done something that the majority would feel uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have any idea now, I guess, how it affects other people? Like, have you talked to other people about it? Outside of me and Carol and...
No, just Carol, really, because I talked to her about some of the poetry that I had in the previous class.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I got out of that class with a C+. I am so lucky. I would be ashamed to say that I got that grade, but I'm glad because it could have been so much worse. But
so
I talked to her. I talked to her a little bit
in your class.
Just about we talked about the theory or the conspiracy theory of whether or not Shakespeare actually wrote his work, and that's sort of a little side story that's going on with the class. But mostly this week it's just been Taming of the Shrew, and so we talked a lot about that. And I've had only one or two of the other students have I had a chance to engage with them on it, and but it's been a pretty thorough discussion on, women back then, they were property, and when I was a history major, I made a link chart of human cruelty from the Dark Ages to the present. It didn't really change that much, and the more I studied the history that I had to study for my class, the more sour and salty I got about it, and I burned out and I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, and there was a point in time where you looked at me and was just like, I was such a disgusting asshole. You said that to me. You said I used to be such a disgusting asshole.
Who I used to be?
Yeah,
I was. I've definitely exhibited and displayed I guess what is the worst parts of being a man.
But it wasn't your fault. And that's what you have to recognize, and that's the only way that you've been able to grow through it, because what you did was actually exactly what you needed to do, was recognize that you outgrew those values. And the moment you realize that you outgrew those values, you changed them. And that's what you have to do. You have to exchange a value for another. And our kids, I am so happy with, especially like Alex, we were talking. She graduated today,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm proud of her for having the intelligence right now to set a course for her own life the way she wants to. Right? Because we didn't do that. We weren't that smart. And even Oliver today, the little freaking genius who drives me insane, I can recognize as he is much smarter at his age right now than we were.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And it sucks,
God.
but it's perfect. It's perfection. It is perfection to look at your child and realize that they are winning. You know, they're winning. And they're competing against themselves, and that's what they're supposed to do. You must be better than you were the day before.
It's interesting, I guess. Perspective of being a parent is you get to watch evolutionary knowledge happen in front of you.
I know, it's amazing.
You know, and it's
like what?
People
this
like,
is
you
a
know,
real thing.
You don't know things until you're taught them. Well, every generation learns it faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
So
and you know, I'm just amazed at Alex. She knocked it out of the park. She's a freaking super genius. I'm actually really proud of Hugh too.
Yeah.
He's knocking it out of the park.
Really enjoying his work.
I mean, it's fantastic, and you know, he's still trying to decide whether or not he's actually going to go forward and medically transition, or if he's going to just see, you know, where he goes naturally. We're not sure. He's not sure, but one thing is 100% sure is he's a different kid than he was last year.
Oh yeah.
And
easily 180 degrees. He's involved, and he's, you know, with us and laughing, and
for a kid who
just
has
part of the situation, not just kind of being in the back.
Yeah, for quiet. A kid who has Asperger's, he takes edibles, THC edibles. So we have him on medical cannabis also, and for somebody who suffered like he did, I think, with depression and the kind of symptomology that you have with Asperger's. He had stomach issues, depression, insomnia, things like that. Just being relieved of those things can help you come out of your shell, you know. And so he gets a little bit of relief of some of those symptoms that he suffered. And now he actually has a little bit of a reprieve of all the stress and worry of those sensory things. You know, and so he's broadened his horizons. He's working at Walmart, and I'm super proud of him, and he's doing great. And we have Lucas, who, bless his heart,
little piano kid.
He has his recital coming up on Saturday, and he's just doing really well with that. He has a project that he's been doing in school, and he's driving us mad because he has no attention. You know, he's ADHD, so his attention span is the worst in the world. And that's been Dad's challenge with him, not mine, because I've been working. And so he has been my dad's lesson. So good for him, good for Lucas to challenge Grandpa, so Grandpa at 80 can learn still some lessons of the youngins, right?
Yeah, he got some lessons in patience.
Yeah, he did. And you know what? I am getting those musical patience lessons with Oliver. So Shannon, my sister, can finally feel resolved with the issue that I annoyed the crap out of her every single day playing the piano, like as loud as I could and as frequently as I could, when she was trying to do schoolwork. So I love Oliver, and he can play all day long, and I love the fact that he's interested and he can play some songs, but I don't want it right here. And when he comes in to play a concert, that cow horn, that hose chord is really loud. Those things are so loud in this old house with these tall ceilings, so much space to make noise. I'll be sending him outside.
So much space for activities.
Yeah, and it's a struggle sometimes, but I love him, bless his heart. But he is my challenge because I annoyed the crap out of my sister when she was really trying to concentrate.
Paying for your raisin.
Definitely 100%. So what's going on after Christmas, you ask? Well, the new year. And you know what? If you want to get a jump start on the new year, and say, I deserve something and I am worth more than what I was the year before or the day before, then all you have to do is go to www.sgpathways.com and see me about getting on track. Right, Beth?
Right.
Because you are a client.
I am.
How do you like coaching? This is your excerpt for me.
It's difficult. You have to be willing to make changes in your life if you're going to survive coaching.
How is it different than therapy because you do both?
The therapy is kind of like, I need to get some crap off my chest. And coaching is like, I need to do some shit with my life.
Okay, that is really two extremes. Coaching's maybe the bridge between the two, okay? Because it's you who actually does the shit, and it's like I told...
It takes everything from thinking about doing it to actually doing it.
Right.
It's not always an easy path.
I'm the tool bag. See, that's the thing. I'm the tool bag. You need to have the tool bag, right? So I'm the tool bag. So I'll be your tool bag. Kind of like I'll be your huckleberry. I'll be your tool bag. You just take me to wherever you need to go, and I'll be there to help coach you through it. All you have to do is see which tool you need.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's
because we're all the same.
Yeah. It's trying to manage ourselves, in our situations daily and effectively, not like, falling apart at the seams every time, something goes wrong. Some of our...
When you pierce the toast.
Some of our children, would get a little upset if they overslept and it was time to go to school, but they only had just a minute or two to prepare to leave.
Like the world was done.
Just fall to pieces.
Wow, yeah, that was awful. That was so... I remember those years. Now look at her.
Yep. Graduated.
I can't believe it. Do I sing it again? Do I sing it? Sunrise, sunset.
She worked for it. She earned it.
Sunrise. You have to keep talking while I'm singing. Sunset. Keep talking.
Oh.
Slowly. You have to keep talking. It doesn't work as effective background music if you quit talking.
She was 10 months old.
Oh, she just cried for 9 months straight. Cried and threw up, and I hated every
the vacuum. When the vacuum was on, she wasn't crying.
That was the only time. The only time was
I got to liking the sound of a vacuum.
Well, look, I always have the air purifier on, so clearly I liked it too.
Trying to go to sleep at night, I was like, let me turn the vacuum on. Can't do this. I'm conditioned now.
Yeah, and it's horrible. I've made you soft. You used to be able to sleep in a foxhole. And now you have to sleep on a sleep number bed with an air purifier.
Well, that fan, I have a fan on in there that it creates a lot of white noise. And so when it storms outside, baby. I can't hear anything.
Yeah, these storms kicked our asses. Like,
I'll wake up in the morning and be like, did you hear this whatever last night? I'm like, nope.
Yeah. And Widow, bless her heart. I didn't realize that Widow got cold. I had no idea. And I keep it cool in here at night.
Did you feel her shaking?
Oh my God. She shivers so bad. And she's very spiky. Okay, she's a Doberman Lab. She's my beautiful widow girl. And she's large, 75, 85 pounds. I mean, she's heavy duty. And so she was sleeping with me on the pallet. And she's shivering like hardcore. And I thought it was just all the thunder and the lightning and all that stuff. She was nervous, which that could have been part of it. So I just took the blanket and I slipped it over her. And as soon as I did, she stopped shivering. Like it was fine. Now, that leads me to that whole thunder blanket thing that you can get for dogs.
Oh, right. That
you know what I'm talking
weighted
about?
Blanket?
Yeah, it's like that. My sister has one for her weird dogs. But what is it? Thunder Code or anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. So the blanket that I sleep with is a really heavy weighted blanket. And so I wonder if it's that calmed her down or if she was cold. I think she was cold. Because she has kind of thin hair.
Well, yeah. I think she gets colder than Yuki for sure.
Yuki's a husky, Beth. That was really dumb what you just said.
There's times that...
You're fired. Fired.
If I have to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I'll walk by them and they'll be snuggled up.
Yeah. Yin and yang.
And
That's
so
what
it's
they look
probably
like.
because Widow gets cold and Yuki's so warm.
It probably is. It's just like you and I. You always cuddle with me when you're cold, and I'm like, nope, too much. You're like a furnace. I don't know how you ever get cold.
I don't know.
I mean, because like you're hot all the time. It's just casting out. And here lately, I'm cold because it's winter, and winter's awful, and it's cold. So, what do you want for Christmas?
My 2 front teeth.
So, does that mean I get to knock them out right now? I have my 2 front teeth. I have these right here.
I don't know.
How do you not know what you want for Christmas? I want food.
Food's
I want
always
cheese
good. I'm
pizza.
gonna make the food, so I know what I'm getting for Christmas.
I want cheese pizza. Are we gonna do Chinese food too?
I'd like doing that. I think it's so fun because it's a day that we can really take Christmas and just spend it with each other and not have to worry about cooking. You know, and it's something that's just, you know, it's fun.
Did you hear me say do it too? In addition to that means you still have to cook.
Oh.
So, but we could do lunch, Chinese food lunch, and then Christmas supper. Just say yes, Beth. You're gonna make some damn mashed potatoes.
We'd have to do it on 2
please.
different days. I can do Christmas dinner, and then we can do maybe a New Year lunch at the Chinese place.
Are you afraid you wouldn't have room for Christmas dinner?
I'm afraid I'm not going to have time.
What if
because
the Chinese
we'll go eat lunch.
came to you? What? What if the Chinese came to you? The Chinese food. What if it came to you? What if I just went and got it and brought it to you and said, here, my lovely darling, come sit with me and let us have and share this banquet with each other.
Well, I wouldn't turn it down. Because
And then I would go, now get your ass back in that kitchen. Get in there and cook me some victuals, woman.
Right.
What if I said that to you? Especially after being all spun up about Shakespeare. See, I already got over
so
being pissed off at misogyny.
So, let's see.
Wait, what'd you say?
Nothing.
What did you just say? What did you just say? You better quit it. You're being evil to me. Poor me. Okay, so let's talk about that. That face I just made. Adults make that face. We've seen them on reality shows where adults throw fit. I don't want to throw shade at anybody, so I don't even want to talk about what show I'm talking about. But we've seen reality shows where adults are so caught in their childhood emotions that they make child faces. Like they look like a child again. And what I did was I went... And whenever I used to pout like that, my parents would say, I better tuck that lip in before Rooster came and crapped on it. What did your parents say to you about pouting as a kid? If you pouted.
I think as long as I was quiet, it was fine.
Oh my God, so you could quietly go seethe?
Yeah, as long as I wasn't making noise, because they'd be like, you better be quiet or I'll give you something to cry about.
Oh my gosh.
I got that from my first stepdad. Yeah.
So nobody got on to you as long as you were quiet?
Yep, just had to be quiet.
Oh boy, I was not allowed to act a fool. But I've never been quiet.
So it didn't matter how I felt. I could be happy, or I could be sad, or whatever. I just had to be quiet.
Wow. That sucks. I had to be louder than anybody and talk faster than anybody because our house was always full of teenagers.
Yeah.
And so if I wanted to be heard, I had to be heard. I had to be loud.
Yeah. I think it wasn't like they didn't say, you have to be quiet all the time or anything like that. It was just that it wasn't a safe environment. My first stepdad wasn't a very nice person. And so anything you did say, would
So
come
you
around.
felt disabled by the...
Melody caught, way more of his crap than I did. And so, and just witnessing what I witnessed was like, okay, I'm just going to be quiet.
So, do you think that affected you as an adult? Do you think that that's why you're quiet? Because you're obnoxiously quiet sometimes.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the issue or not. I know there was a point in my life that I was more of a talker, and but I don't know if my being quiet more often these days as an adult is tied to that or not.
Let's talk about this when you were a talker thing. Because what?
Okay.
When was that? Did I know you?
I don't know. I guess I was when I was with my closest friends.
Oh, well, okay, like you and I, whenever we would get drunk and stay up until 3 in the morning and talk, as long as you were inebriated, you could talk just fine.
No, but like with...
You're talking sober days?
Yeah, like with hanging out with Derek or Jeff or
my date night
Dwayne,
soda pop.
Those are my closest friends, and so those when I didn't even fully trust them. I hate to say it, but I didn't fully trust any of them anyway. I mean, it was just because I didn't trust anybody.
Did you trust me?
Issues. Not fully.
Really? I never thought about whether you trusted me. I never thought about whether anyone trusted me. I just assumed that because I was trustworthy, that other people trusted me.
Well, it started out as if I'm gonna try to make something of something, then I have to try. I have to extend trust.
Right.
And so I started extending you trust, and then you would return it. And then whenever it we had built such a strong friendship over it that whenever it became appropriate to move it to the next level, it just flowed organically.
Yeah, it's weird. We just kind of fell in love and got married.
Yeah, it was like it was.
Yeah, we met, fell in love.
It's like we were kind of already married, and we just
didn't know it.
it.
Yeah. It is kind of weird how that worked out. So in our next life, we will be married also, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows what kind of union it'll be? Maybe we'll get married in dudism. Hey, it's a thing.
It is a
I'm
thing.
part of it.
It's it's not that's not like a scoff. That's like it's like one of those things that's like really cool.
Yeah, I'm ordained. I am the coolest person you know. Am I not?
Oh, you're absolutely the most coolest person.
And I
ever.
have the sexiest beard, right?
Yes, the sexiest beard.
Oh my God! Stop that! I don't like that. That's gross and weird. Ugh, I didn't like that at all.
They're not worthy.
Even joking like that, it just feels gross. You know what I said to Alex today?
What?
And I busted you out too.
Busted me out? What did I do?
Okay, well, so here's what the situation was.
Oh, great! Do I want to know?
No, you really don't.
Okay.
Like,
la,
it's
la,
bad.
La 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 la.
Okay, so she was in chilling with me and talking to me about graduating this morning, and as we were talking, you know how we spat back and forth, right? Mm-hmm. So she was saying stuff and I was saying stuff, and she's like, "Okay, well, I'm leaving." It's like, "Okay, whatever, go do your stuff. I don't even love you."
Yeah.
And
freestyling on each other.
Yeah, we were freestyling, and so I was like, when I said I don't even love you, he's like, "Oh my God, I just said that," and I was teasing, of course, and
I can do the like one. I couldn't do the love one.
Yeah, it felt tragic the minute I said it. And then it occurred to me, I heard you say it. And it was that time that you said it. And so I said that. Oh, God, my heart hurts, actually. Anyway, so I said that out loud and to Alex. And I was like, oh, my God, your mom said that to me once. That is like literally when it occurred to me. And she goes, was she joking? And I said, no, she was confused. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, and she made a really good point, which I never even said to you, never even thought. She goes, why not just not say anything? If you don't love someone and they say, I love you, because that was the situation. I said, I love you, and you go, I don't love you. Why did say anything at all? That's what Alex said. And that's why I explained to her that you were just confused. You were lashing out, And that's how I knew that it was a you thing and not a me thing. And so that opened up a conversation where we got a little bit deeper. My ears ringing. We got a little bit deeper, her and I. So it was kind of cool that that came up, but it felt awful to say. And she's like, I know you were joking. I was like, I can't ever say that again. It just felt wrong. Try to say it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it feels wrong, but whenever somebody says it, it doesn't seem like it's. When somebody says it, it doesn't seem like it's. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's as distressing to them as it felt to me today.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I want to talk about Derek for a minute. So Derek is the friend that you referred to, that you trusted. You hung out with Derek.
I think out of all my friends, I trusted him the most.
He is still our friend.
Yeah.
And he is like, I would consider our best friend. I really would. So even outside of Mandy and everybody,
a long time
since
the beginning.
Yeah. So he really has. He and Margaret, as a matter of fact.
Margaret. God,
Margaret. Who else? Wow. Who's been with us since the very beginning? Carter. Lightsaber Willie.
Oh, right.
So, he's been with us, and we don't talk to him often. Oh yeah, Presley. He's been with us. So we do have those friends who, regardless, have been with us since the beginning of our love story.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they'll be with us throughout, because we're awesome, right? But it's really because they're awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about that? Because I started out this
whenever...
talking about how we have friends that are shady. And everybody that I named, by the way, is shady. That's our shady friends, and that's why they're such good friends.
Whenever I first came out, I had purposely memorized the amount of friends I had on Facebook so I could watch the number go down.
Yeah, that was
how
weird.
Many I lost.
I thought that was weird.
And I actually gained 5 friends that day.
Mm.
So it was
awesome.
It was illuminating. I didn't really expect that to happen. I mean, not to say that everybody I'm friends with is that's how they think. It's I don't know how everybody really thinks, and I know that our lifestyle is difficult to accept for a lot of people. So I expected people to just part ways.
Some people did, but some people stayed, and that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty awesome and unique, and I enjoy having date night on the podcast with you, but I'm really going to enjoy being with Joe and cutting up with Joe. I realized...
you need your boy back.
I know. I realized today that, yours and my podcast, it's great and insightful and everything, and it feels good, and it's very loving and warm, and I enjoy it. I really do. I enjoy doing the podcast with you. But there's something about being with Joe, that, and making plans with Joe and seeing the perspective from another man's view. Because you're my opposite, you're my counterpart, right? Mm-hmm. But I also need perspective of my peer, because that's gonna be what helps me judge where in the community that I've chosen I'm going to fit.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And it's important, right? It's important to feel belonging, right? So if you're not part of your community, it's difficult to feel like you belong. And then you isolate yourself a little bit more and you become, kind of resentful. And you did that for a long time. You would say, I hate people, I hate people, I hate people. I don't want to talk to people. And Joe and I have both been through that too. But you were really adamant about avoiding people.
Yeah.
Like you went out of your way to avoid people.
I had a kind of an extra step, in my path, that helped fuel that fire. I've since gotten over a great deal of it.
You've gotten over most of it, I would say. I think that you've done amazing. I'm surprised, honestly, that you've stuck with it as well as you have. And when I say stuck with it, I mean coaching in particular. Because it does take a certain temperament. If you can make it through coaching, and I gave Toby his chip today. He got a coaching chip today. 1 year on January 5th, he's been coaching with me. So we've been coaching through several different transitions. So, you'll get your chip too, whenever you reach that point where you've completed the program and you've maintained for a year.
I can never stop.
You can. It's a choice.
Not if I want to stay out of where I used to be. because that's
Right.
where I'll go if I stop. So
But
I can never stop.
the second phase of coaching, like I hate it when my clients, gain full awareness and they're in charge of their lives, and then they look back and they go, but now I have to stop coaching. Yeah, you do, buddy, because you got it. You're playing with the full deck now.
But you don't stop learning every day.
No, you don't, because you start coaching yourself. You just go from having a coach to being the coach.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I tell people. It's easy to fall into into the trap with your friends of becoming that person that's coaching everyone, and then all of a sudden at the end of the day you're exhausted. That means you either need to have it as your profession or you need to stop doing it. Right? You piss or get off the pot. So if you find that once you finish life coaching, if all you do is still coach, whether it's yourself or your friends and people are going to you for it, then you need to become a life coach, right? Do you want to become a life coach? So then you are one of those people that you look at it and you go, I've learned it, I live it, now watch me do it.
I can't be as objective with people as you can be.
What do you mean?
I get too much of an emotional attachment. It's hard for me to switch my emotions off whenever I need
Are
to.
you calling me cold? Because
No.
that's what I hear.
You can be professional.
Okay. Your face is saying cold. Your mouth might be saying professional, but I know that look. Okay, so what do you think is cold about it? About coaching? Truthfully.
Oh, I believe the word I used was objective.
Okay, objective. We all know you mean cold. So I love you, baby.
Whenever you dealing with a client, that has a tendency to get frustrated, and dispute things, from time to time. And you can still say what it doesn't matter, like you can still be like, oh, I don't care how mad you are because that's a you thing, here's the truth, bam. And so it's your choice to deal with it or not.
Do you know who reinforces that concept for me, that I can be objective and know that I'm okay? Aunt Donna. I have a really, really special place in my heart for Aunt Donna and Aunt Sarah and Lindsay, but Aunt Donna offers me something that, whether she knows it or not, is that real family perspective and that real family connection. And I can tell you now that if I felt like I needed to call someone,
Yeah.
I know I could call her. Even though we don't talk on the phone, and even though we haven't met in person, I know that she is that family that I would take a call from. I would excitedly take a call from. So I know if I feel that way about her, she feels that way about me.
Yeah.
Because she goes the extra mile to every day or every other day whenever she feels well. But most of the time it's every day. She touches base with somebody and lets us know, that we're valuable.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps that notion going for me, is that's why I'm accepting and why I can be objective, is because I have objective perspective.
Objective perspective.
Is that
Sounds
like
one of those songs.
Yeah.
You joke, John.
But I have my whole life seen many sides of many people.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say one thing for certain. No one's the same. We are all different. We might have the same condition, the human condition. We all suffer the human condition.
In a different way.
All in a different way. And so that's what makes the journey so fantastic. I get to go on so many journeys in a day, like 14 journeys in a week right now, because I have 14 clients. So I go on 14 different journeys every week, in addition to the 4 that I already go on with the kids, because I go on journeys with them too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get to have all this love, and then with you and Carol. And Dad even, because I love that old fart too. So I get to go on all these great adventures, but sometimes I forget to have one for myself. That's where my work-life balance is a little shady. But that's where Donna offers me that perspective. because she does the cool stuff that I enjoy. And so then when I can't get to it, I can at least appreciate that she does it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's amazing. I love every single freaking picture that she sends me. Like, whenever I'm starting to slip and feel a little like, the world's against me, then I can look at her pictures that she sent and I can see that she's gone through a lot of shit. And, just like everybody else, she at some point said, you know what? My life is my life and this is what I like. She does cool shit with things she likes.
She does.
She's so
quite
creative.
the artist.
God.
I mean, it's some of her stuff is really, really cool.
And Aunt Sarah with the decorations. Oh my gosh. And Lindsay too. It's like, and Lindsay is a cook, and I refuse to give up the last tablespoon of jelly that she gave me. I still have 1 tablespoon in there, and I almost ate it today on my sandwich. So we're gonna wrap up here so we can watch stuff and have our date night.
I have to go pee.
Oh, girls do that? Gross.
That's it though. That's all we do. Just pee.
No boom boom.
Yeah.
Okay, I love you, sweetheart. I
Love
really
you too.
do. And thank you for putting up with me. And you say thank you for putting up with Oliver. He and I are the same. I saw that today. Carol's right. Both of our energies, yeah, same. I can't deny it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. And we'll see you next Friday. But you'll see Joe and I on... Ooh, I'm not going to tell you what day. So you'll see us coming soon before Christmas. Bye, guys.